Okay, welcome to Honors Orientation. My name is Debbie Henney. I teach economics here at Mesa Community College, and I'm also one of the faculty directors of the program. And
I'm Mary Alderidge. I'm one of the other directors, and I teach in the English department. And I also, what's the word, direct two study abroad programs for MCC.
And I am Lanae Jackson, who has heard my name. How many of you have gotten an email from me? How many of you have responded to that email from me? Very good, very good. And I actually work in the honors office, and you are welcome to come and see me anytime throughout the semester.
okay, so this orientation is meant to introduce you to the honors program, the requirements of the scholarship, the things that you'll have to do to keep your scholarship, and a primary interest for us is to make sure that we can have as many people retaining that scholarship and staying enrolled and keeping the scholarship for the entire 4 semesters that you're here. So this is the link to self-enroll in the Honors Canvas course. This is where you will submit your co-curricular activities that we'll talk about in a little bit. There's an Honors Scholarship Acceptance Quiz that you have to complete before Lanae can award your scholarship. So that's all done in Canvas. You can either scan the QR code or in a browser, just type in this URL, and I will put this up again at the end for those of you who need to see that again. So as we said, Mary and I are the honors directors here at the Southern Dobson campus, but we also have Blake Wolf, who is the honors director out at the Red Mountain campus. And so the 3 of us together work together to direct the honors program. And then we also have, you met Lanae, but we also have Abby, who is a student worker here on the Southern Dobson campus. So if you come into the office, you'll see her. John has been with us for over a year, but she's leaving now. She's transferring to the University of Arizona. She was also an honors student. And we are getting somebody new, but we don't have a picture yet, or that hire hasn't happened. So you will get to meet the honors staff if you come by. This is another way that Lanae has found very useful in reaching out or connecting with you if it was something important or urgent. We find students respond quicker to text than email. It doesn't mean don't check your school email, but if you would join Lanae's Remind Me by texting that code up there to 81010.
I found in the past that this works really well with getting in touch with my students. Some like, I don't never check my email. I have to reach out and connect with you one way or another. So please don't either ignore my emails or ignore if I text you. I really need to talk to you, so please respond to that. I won't just text you for the fun of it.
So we're actually gonna keep Lanae up here because I know the main reason that most of you are here is because you want to know, how do I get my money, or when am I going to get my money, right? It shows I owe a balance. So we're going to let Lanae talk about what has to happen before she can award your scholarship.
All right, most scholarships, Pell Grant, all of that fun stuff is processed through the financial aid office. I actually award all of the scholarships for the President's Honors Scholarship recipients and for our Honors Achievement Awards. So I actually do that. There's a couple of things that have to happen before I can actually award your scholarship. One, I have to have your official final transcript. If you had received an email from me that had big pink letters across the top that says, please read the whole entire email, and you responded to that, that's the first thing. 1, I have your official final transcript. 2, I noticed that you have read that and you replied, and so yes, you are accepting that scholarship. If you did not reply to that email, go find it. All email communications will be through your MCC student email account. If you do not know how to find that, come talk to me afterwards. I have to have your official final transcript. Your honors or your registration must be complete. The scholarship covers your tuition up to 15 credit hours. You must be in a minimum of 12. This is an honors-based scholarship. You must take an honors class each semester in order to be eligible to receive scholarship money. Your first 2 semesters, you are required to take an honors-only class. You must have completed this orientation and score all 5 points of your acceptance quiz. 4.5 is not a 5, so you take it again and again, or how many times you need to get that full 5 points. Once all that is done, I will award your scholarship money. This is the important number, so please remember this. The monetary value is $1,290. That's $1,290. If your total tuition amount is at that or below, it will cover full tuition. If there's anything above $1,290, that is your responsibility. As I said, the scholarship covers tuition up to 15 credit hours plus the $15 registration fee. You may have additional class fees. Some classes have class fees, like math classes all have a $10 class fee. Some of the English classes, most of the science classes, they all have some sort of class fee. So anything above that $1,290 is your responsibility. Please wait for the scholarship funds to process through. Once it drops down to that lower amount, that's when you want to pay that, because if you go to try to pay it now, it's going to want you to pay the entire tuition amount. You do not need to do a payment plan. There is a deferment on all of your accounts, and that's holding you in your classes. So when you look on your My.Maricopa, it should say you either have a future due or a past due or due now. That's exactly what you want to see. Scholarship funds will process through the financial aid office and cashier's office 2 weeks after classes start. That's when things will drop to a zero balance or drop down to a lower balance. That's when additional funds need to be paid if you owe anything additionally. So even if I ran home right now or went back to my office and awarded all of you right now, it's not going to drop to a zero balance tomorrow. That will not happen until 2 weeks after classes start. So don't freak out. You don't need to email me. Just trust me and know that I've got your back.
All right, this is the honors website. So at the mesacc.edu website, in the search bar, you can type honors or just /honors. And this is where you can find all the information about the honors program. So anything that we tell you today, if you forgot something, or I think they said that, you can find that information here on the honors website. There's different, the menu. There's places where you can learn about the co-curricular activities, the requirements of the different scholarships, deadlines for things will be posted on the honors website. And then the other way that we will keep in touch and communicate with you is in the Honors Canvas course, and I'll put that link up again at the end so that you can join the Honors Canvas course. But this is where you can communicate with Mary and I. We can send messages. This is where you submit your reflections for those required co-curricular activities. And it's where you'll do this Honors Scholarship Acceptance Quiz, where we're going to ask you a few questions about the important details about the scholarship that we want to make sure you remember from this orientation. So we don't have to convince you that going to college is a good choice because you're already here. But now that you're here, I want to take a minute to talk about how to get the most out of your community college experience. I am a fan of the community college. I graduated from Mesa Community College 20 plus years ago. And so I wasn't exactly a student in your seat because I wasn't an honors student. Mary has the honors cred as an honors student. But I wouldn't have had the opportunity. I was a first generation college student, and it opened a lot of doors for me. So, and then my children also are both taking classes in the Maricopa Community College system. So one of the best advantages from my parent perspective is that you can finish 2 years debt-free. So you may have friends, you probably have friends that are enrolled at one of the universities. They may have a partial scholarship, even a full scholarship. There's lots of other fees and expenses that come with school. And some of you, I know, were enrolled and then decided, you know what, I'm going to come here. I can not have to pay any money at those first 2 years, and then transfer, and then start thinking about how am I going to pay for the rest of school. But while you're here, this is it, because it's a smaller environment, you can definitely take advantage of the sense of community. You can build a network, build friends, build community, and take advantage of the accessible advisors and faculty that we have here. You'll get to know your faculty. They'll know your names. I love walking across campus and seeing students and being able to greet them. I'm not trying to talk bad about ASU. I have friends that teach over at ASU, but I can tell you they have hundreds of students, and they have to have an army of TAs to help them keep track of all of those students, and there's no way they get to know who those students are. So if there's a discipline you're interested in, you can get to build a relationship with the faculty members in that discipline, and they can help connect you to that broader network and start taking steps to get involved. Also advisors, it's pretty much on demand. I mean, you have to set up an appointment, but you can walk in, and most of the time you don't have to wait that long to be able to speak to an advisor who can give you, answer your questions about what courses do I need to take, in what order, and what do I need to do to transfer for this. We have transfer programs set up with all the in-state universities, and we even get a lot of out-of-state universities that come and recruit and want our honor students to go there. So there'll be scholarship opportunities. I was researching for one student, and the award that she was offered to go straight from high school to NAU, the same thing is offered for transfer students from MCC. So she'll be able to finish her 2 years here and still get that same award when she transfers, to NAU in 2 years. So she was worried about, will I have opportunities? Will there be scholarship opportunities? In a minute, I'll give the PTK representatives a chance to speak to you about some opportunities that they have as well. Smaller class sizes. This room that you're sitting in right here is unique on campus. There's only a handful of classrooms this big. Most of the classrooms are probably much more what you're familiar to in high school. They're, at max, 35 students, some of them even smaller. So you'll get smaller class sizes. You can get to know students in class. In the honors program, the honors classes are capped at 20. So we've had to overfill a couple because we had so many of you this semester. But you'll have a smaller group of students that you can build a network with. And one of the great opportunities is that you get to take on leadership roles as freshmen and sophomores, where that's all we have here. And so we have an active student life, we have clubs, but it means that freshmen and sophomores are leading and running, and they're involved in student government. Whereas if you were at a 4-year institution, it would probably be a couple years before you could step into some of those leadership roles. So those are great opportunities. And we'll talk about tutoring and where you can find that later. So lots of resources. I won't talk about all of these, but I just want you to know there are so many programs available, and a lot of them come with additional scholarship monies on top of the President's Honor Scholarship that you're getting. Right now, we have a scholarship that was just announced for if you're majoring in, engineering and computer science. They have, still several scholarships, $1,000 scholarships available, and you have to sign up by, I think, the end of next week. So you can find an announcement about that posted in Canvas. If it's not there, I'll get it up there later today. So, all right. We have a great career center. If you can make an appointment with a career advisor, and they have all kinds of resources. They can help you explore the employment outlook for the industry that you're interested in. Maybe you just took a class because it fulfilled a requirement and you found out you really liked it, and you want to know what kind of jobs are available if I wanted to study that as a major. They can help you look at the employment outlook as far as, is it growing? Are they going to be hiring more people in that field, or is that an industry that's shrinking? These are important decisions. Going to college, college pays, but not all degrees pay equally. And this is putting my economics hat on. That's important. It's not to say don't study something just because it doesn't pay well. But when you're thinking about how do I pay for school, you don't want to go into $80,000 in debt for a degree that at best might pay $40,000 a year. So you want to know, what does employment look like in the field that I'm interested in, and what can I expect to earn, and how easy will it be for me to find a job? They can give you advice on interview tips. You can make an appointment. They do coaching to help you with interviews and resume writing tips. So whether you're getting a job or maybe applying, there's an application for a scholarship. And these are resources that are here, and they're available at no cost to you. So take advantage of those things. There's also if you are just still have no idea what you want to do, you can do this at mynextmove.org. There's like an interest survey you can take that will kind of maybe point you in some directions or things you can consider. So these slides will be available they actually already are available in the Honors Canvas course in a module called Resources. So we have lots of ways to get involved. Research shows that the more engaged students are, the more outside of class, the better their retention rates. And so we're going to force your hand a little bit at getting involved while you're here at Mesa Community College by engaging you with those co-curricular activities. But I would encourage all of you to engage even beyond the little bit that we will push you to do. And so here's some examples of whether it's clubs that you can participate in. And one of those we've invited to speak to you for a minute is Phi Theta Kappa.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mitchell Stewart. I'm the Phi Theta Kappa recruitment officer. Does this work?
Yes, only
I'm
for
Phi
the
Theta Kappa
camera.
recruitment officer We are an undergraduate honors society. We're kind of separate from the honors program. We're founded on 4 tenets of scholarship, leadership, service, and fellowship. So if you're looking to get more involved in school, 91% of students who actually get involved in school outside of classes, they are graduates. So Phi Theta Kappa is one way to get involved. We have a lot of leadership opportunities, so you can start getting those titles right away. So when you do apply for other scholarships, you have been a lot of you've had a lot of different opportunities through Phi Theta Kappa.
Hi, I am Benny, and I think that it's important to share my experience with you. I'm the new membership coordinator, so I'm his coordinator. And I am a freshman, as y'all are. I'm an honor student, as y'all are, and I'm actually attending the orientation as you are. And I got involved this summer. And currently, I'm involved in Phi Theta Kappa, and up to now it's been so fun, and we have a lot of projects going on, so if you want to join, if you want to talk, we're pretty open, and there are a lot of positions open, especially for coordinators, which are basically people that help the officers. And I am in the student government, so if you guys want to open a club, join a club, or just be involved on campus, volunteering, we're there. And we're right in front of the honors office. So if you guys go into the honors office, stop by the student government. We're always there. And we really like when people come in and just talk to us. Who likes anime, for example? What's anime? Nobody here? You guys can do, it's not a saying or anything. Yeah, video games. Or like, you guys like video games? We have an anime club that is closed, but it could be open if a leader took the lead and opened the club again. So, I don't know, who likes to write? Nobody likes to, oh my God, guys, what do you do with your lives? Okay. Anyways, if you guys want to open a club or just be involved on campus, we are there. And we're so happy that you guys are here. Enjoy the experience, and welcome to MCC.
Okay, so if you picture a Venn diagram, there's a lot of honor students that are part of PTK, but there are PTK members who could be in the honors program and get the scholarships that don't. I don't know why. And then there's honor students who could be in PTK and don't. But there's a lot of overlap. So if you think about it as the honors program, we run the scholarships and the requirements for the scholarship, and PTK is like this activity, club for honor students and honor society, and very involved. So if you are interested in scholarships and scholarship and transfer opportunities, I would definitely recommend getting involved with PTK, because any applications I read for scholarships, the PTK members are very competitive every time. So great resources that way. Just because what you major in now doesn't mean it doesn't necessarily determine what you'll do in the future. Majors matter. They do matter. So, but it's not just about the major. There's lots of other things and skills you're going to acquire in college that are going to be helpful in whatever career that you end up doing. And so employers, they're looking for people, in addition to whatever your major is, they want to know, are these people that can solve problems, think critically, be creative? Are they resilient? Can they, see the big picture? Can they work well with others? I know everybody hates group projects, but believe it or not, when you get out in the real world, you still have to work with people. And a lot of times, you don't even like those people. Lucky for us, Lanae, Mary, and I like each other. Okay, we're going to do a little exercise. We'll get you standing up so everybody can participate, even parents and faculty, and stand up if these apply to you, okay? Here's the first one. Stand up if you've ever turned a paper in late. Anybody? Okay. Stay standing if you've ever been absent too many times, or stand up if that applies to you. Have you ever been absent too many times? Stand up if you've ever done poorly on an exam. Anybody ever do poorly on an exam? Okay. Okay, go ahead and sit down. What do you think you could do if any of those things happen to you while you're at MCC?
Go to the tutoring center.
Okay, take advantage of the tutoring center, he said. What else could you do?
Talk to your professor.
Yes, talk to your professor. Okay, I know they can be intimidating and scary, but talk to your professors. If you're they don't read minds. as much as they would like to, or we think that we can't. And so if you don't reach out for help, if you don't ask, they're not going to be able to help you. So talk to your professor. Okay, here's some additional ones. Stand up if you have ever had an issue with a teacher. Anybody ever had an issue with a teacher? Okay. How about if you ever wanted to change or drop a class? Okay. Stand up if you've ever had your GPA drop. Okay. How about if you forgot or registered for the wrong class or didn't know how to register for classes? Or had to have a parent help you navigate the registration process here. Okay? Go ahead and sit down. What could you do if these things happen to you while you're at Mesa? I know in high school, you didn't really have the option to pick your classes. Your schedule was kind of given to you for most of you. But here, you have the option to pick your classes and even make changes if you want to. But what should you do if these kind of things happen? You don't know how to register. You forgot. You have an issue with the teacher. What do you think?
Talk to a counselor.
You could talk to a counselor. You could, an advisor, yes. You could also talk to your honor support staff. So we are here. This is Mary. She's from the Gryffindor house. But we're here to help you. And so there's going to be, true story, my son, when he was registering for a class here at Mesa, he could not, there was some hurdle, he couldn't figure it out, and I'm saying, you're a high school graduate, you should be able to figure out how to register for classes. So I finally said, okay, I'll help you. And then I went and tried to help him. I couldn't figure it out either, as his parent and as an employee of the college. So you know what I did? I went to Lanae, and she knew the answer. She was able to help. Lanae has lots of answers. You might be worried about, you might be sitting in a class and feel like, you know what, this isn't what I thought it was, or I don't think this is going to be a good fit for me with my work schedule. And so maybe you want to make a change or drop that class. There's only a certain window that you can do that, but if you end up with too few credits, it could affect your scholarship. So any of these kind of things, you definitely want to come talk to Lanae, come to the honors office, and reach out for help. We can help you with those things. All right, so we thought it would be a good idea to give you some college survival tips, because when we looked at why we were losing students in the honors program, at one point, years back, we would lose about half of the students who would come in on the President's Scholarship wouldn't keep it. They wouldn't last the 4 semesters. And we've done a lot of work and changes to the program and ways that we are able to work with you, so that that's closer to 20% now. Lose the scholarship. We would love it. We would love to have 100% of you keep the scholarship for all 4 semesters, and that's why we're doing this orientation. But one of the things we realize is there's some common hurdles, the same kind of hurdles that students face. And a big one has to do with just balancing everything, work and life and school. Raise your hand if you have a job. Okay, most of our honor students have jobs. I'm not going to ask how many hours a week you work, but we wanted to address some of these kind of tips that will help you manage that. And so I already have mentioned get involved on campus, take advantage of resources like tutoring centers. I'll show you where those are in a minute. But the rest I'm going to turn over to Mary.
I'm going to talk about the exciting topic of time management. All right. If I had some sock puppets, it would be better, but I forgot them at home. So how many of you are great at time management? You never get stressed out. You can leave. All right. I am not great at time management. I never was. I always did. Hey, calm down when I'm speaking. No one else does. I always did my papers at the last minute, okay? And I was fortunate. I got good grades on them. That works for some people. It doesn't work for everyone. Know your limits pretty quickly. But what I learned from always doing those papers at the last minute was, I was always stressed out. I was always worried. I was always so frantic that I might not finish. I might not get this done. What if I discover a mistake? And of course, back when I was writing papers in the in the dark ages, we had to use this thing called a typewriter, where you had to use things called liquid paper to mark out your mistakes. It was just horrible. So in my final, I'm slightly dramatic, in my final class of my entire college career, my doctorate, I actually started a paper early because, I had a 4.0 at that time and I didn't want to screw it up, okay? So I started a paper early, and you know what I discovered? I found mistakes before the professor did. I discovered sentences that made no sense at all by starting it about 3 weeks before it was due. To me, that was incredibly early. So I learned that if I started things a little earlier, made time for things, I'd actually produce a better paper. Okay, maybe I had gotten A's and B pluses on those other papers, but I didn't get them back and read a sentence that was embarrassing anymore. Not that, I was a perfect writer by the end of grad school, but if you can learn to section out your days and figure out when you have time to do things, it will really go a long way. So, look over these. I'm not going to read everything to you. I know that you all are used to reading things on your phones, so when you're able to get on Canvas and you can look at this on your phone, I know that will be more comfortable for you than people speaking in front of you. Time management tips: get and use a calendar if that is what you're comfortable with. Some people are still comfortable with paper. I'm one of those people, but I'm old. Some of you, I'm sure you'll use maybe your phone will talk to you and tell you when you have something to do. Write things down. Don't trust your memory. You may be young, but you have a lot of stuff in there, like YouTube videos and various things, the hot guy, girl, or cat, dog, whatever it is you've seen. Get plenty of sleep. You need your sleep. Tackle the toughest tasks first and when you are most awake and alert. Allow for flexibility. Give yourself time between tasks. Don't tell yourself you're going to work for 48 hours on that English paper, because you're lying to yourself. Plan ahead and plan for the unexpected, like that source I thought I found is gone. Oh, my printer ran out of ink. Not an excuse. Schedule free time and complete the most important tasks first. Okay, so most of you will either have 15 or 12 credits for the semester. If you have 15 credits, each credit needs 2 hours of work outside of class. How many hours is that? What's 2 times 15? Very good. So 30 plus your 15 is 45 hours. That's 45 hours of your life you'll be spending on school. Then we saw lots of hands go up for working. Add in your work schedule, add in travel time, add in the time it takes you to convince yourself to get out of bed in the morning or to go to bed at night, and add in going to see some new movie. I think there's a new stupid Star Wars movie that's coming out this semester. But whatever it is, you need to make sure you have enough time to do these things. And if you don't schedule, you will find yourself again cramming things in, or worse, not getting assignments done, having a class, getting a failing grade or a D, or dropping a class and maybe losing your scholarship. And you do not want to lose $1,290 because you didn't schedule time. So set realistic goals. Like I said, don't tell yourself, I can do this in 12 hours. I just won't stop. I won't eat. I won't go to the bathroom. Yeah, you will, okay? You can wear Depends, but that's not going to work. You need to get up and do things. Do schoolwork when your energy level is at its highest. Break large tasks into smaller ones. I've already said this one. And avoid study marathons, like all-nighters. Remove all distractions. So again, don't have your friends over while you're trying to study for your economics test. Give your full attention to the current task and write down your other tasks. Then I get the joyous occasion of also talking about faculty. I get to talk about all the mean things. Faculty expectations. What do you think we expect? Very good. I expect you to show up. We expect you, not just me. I'm not the only person who counts attendance on campus. We expect you to show up in class on time. We expect you to put your phones down and pay attention when we're talking to you. We expect you to study or read whatever it is we've asked you to read. We expect you to engage in the material. We are not here to just lecture at you. You are in charge of your education for a lot of it. What you get out of your education, that is your responsibility. If you wish to be passive and get out of here with nothing. Be active and engaged. That's what you want to be, okay? We don't want to be disciplinarians. In other words, I don't want to tell you to put your phone down all the time. You should know that. You're an adult now. Be respectful. If there's a cell phone policy on the syllabus, you better follow it. We can make you leave the class. This isn't high school, okay? So make sure you are doing what is expected. We don't want to spend our time telling you to behave. Attendance is expected, as this gentleman indicated. If you miss a certain number of courses, you can be withdrawn from a class without any warning. Okay, the Maricopa Community College District does have an attendance policy in place. And that policy says if you miss the equivalent of 1 week's worth of classes, you can be dropped from your class. So if you have a 2-day-a-week class, you miss 2 days during the semester, you can be dropped. If you have a 1-night-a-week class, I teach a film class, that's 1 night a week. If a person misses 1 night, I can drop that person if I want to. So make sure you know your attendance policy for your course. Communicate with your instructor. If something, and going to the doctor, being sick, none of that is not an excused absence. Needing to go get McDonald's or whatever, none of that's excused. There are very few absences that are excused. So please communicate with your instructor. Don't just disappear. Don't think because you missed a couple of classes, well, I might as well give up. Talk to your instructor. We're going to mention that again about talking to us. We've heard all the excuses. Believe me, if as many people got food poisoning from McDonald's as I've been told is responsible for absences, McDonald's would be out of business by now. Take ownership for your attendance, okay? Don't make excuses. If you missed a class, heck, I will admit, now that no one can hurt me, I took a whole week off in grad school so I could go see you two in LA and Seattle. Whatever, okay? I did it, and I've also taken a day off work to see a Harry Potter movie or something. But I take responsibility. Hey, if I'm doing it, I'm doing it, but I'm not going to make any excuses. Oh, I'm sick. No, I needed to go. All right. If you may be removed or dropped from a course because of attendance, again, keep in touch with your instructor. If you are dropped, you could lose your scholarship, okay? Because if you drop below 12 hours or your honors class is dropped, okay? You're dropped from that honors class, you can lose that scholarship. The syllabus, you should receive a syllabus from your instructor the first day or first week of classes. Hopefully that syllabus will also be posted online so that when you get angry at the teacher and tear up the paper copy, you can still print it, one online. Use that syllabus as your time management tool, okay? Write down due dates because we don't remind you all the time. Especially if you have an online class. You are not reminded all of the time. So make sure you write things down. Ask your professor for clarification if there's anything you don't understand. Again, don't just sit back and take it. Be active. Ask questions respectfully if you have any sorts of things you're concerned about or unclear about. We value our teaching, our subject area, English. I also teach a French class, so I love both those languages. Math and science and stuff. And research. So be respectful in and out of the classroom. You may hate English. Most people hate freshman comp. I am not waking up every morning thinking, my God, people love freshman comp. But it will help you throughout your career, and at least be respectful. Don't come to my class or let me hear you in the hallway, oh my God, I hate this class and this teacher. If you feel that way, that's great. Post it on your Facebook page or whatever people use now. Make a little Snapchat about it. But be respectful in class. We want you to be successful. We do. We don't come to school every day thinking, now, which of these 20 students am I going to send home a la Survivor style? We want you to succeed. We want you to do well. I was an honor student. I was a first-generation student as well. No one in my family had gone to university. So I want you to spend your entire life in education just like I did. This is an example of an actual email that Lanae received. So I want you to take a look at this email. Just take a couple of minutes to read it. And then I want you to tell me if there's anything about it that sticks out to you, positively, negatively. So just take a moment to read. We'll see how fast you can read. It's a test. Okay, so is there anything about this email that you think maybe would make a advisor or honors mom or instructor make their head spin, sort of a la Exorcist? Anything? So this person took no responsibility for, I love the line, let's see if this works, yeah. I love the line, I don't think this is right because I tried my hardest. Sorry I did the Valley Girl voice, but that's life. Sometimes, well, and I don't think this person tried their hardest because this person can't even capitalize I. But, you know, sometimes things don't work because you were absent too many times. You didn't communicate with your instructor. I love the 6.5 absences. I want to know how that works out. Anything else in this email? So to whom is this email? There is no hello or dear whomever, okay? There is nothing at the top, nor is there anything at the bottom to indicate who this is from. Which Spanish 101 class? If you're not writing to the actual instructor, how is Lanae supposed to know which, if I don't know who you are, because I don't know who you are by your email. Have you looked at those MEID email addresses? I can't figure you out. You need to address an email properly. Dear Professor Henney, dear, and you know, you need to learn what the professor prefers to be called or anyone you're writing to prefers to be called. And then you need to sign it. These are two more good ones. These are two fabulous emails. Hello, I want to know if my requirements are all finished. Hey, I'm in your class and I need to meet with you. I am free on Monday from 2 to 3 and Wednesday from 9 to 12. When can I come by? RJ. So the first one, who the heck are you? What requirements are you talking about? Okay, I have no idea. And the second one, hey, I'm sorry, who are you and who am I? I'm not your friend, I'm your instructor. We may talk to each other and laugh, but I'm your instructor or your advisor. If Lanae says it's okay to say hey to her, and I don't think she is, then maybe you could write that. But you're not writing it to a buddy. You're not sending, oh God, mine went totally blank, a text or one of those horrendous tweet things. Okay, you need, and I am free on Monday. Okay, good for you, I'm glad. You need to check what my schedule is. So here's one that might be a bit better. Dear Professor Henney, my name is Spencer Wolf, comma, and I am currently taking your ECN 212 class. Sorry, I'm a little comma happy, or comma, I'm just a little anal about commas. I have some questions about the last few readings, comma, and I was wondering if I could come talk with you. Unfortunately, I can't come to see you during your office hours as I have other classes at that time. Can you please let me know some times that might work for you? Thank you very much. Sincerely, Spencer Wolf. That is what we want, okay? We want to know who it is, to whom you are writing. We want you to be respectful. So even if you are lying about the fact you can't come see us because of other classes, I've already said to other groups of honor students, maybe you really just don't want to come because you want to take a nap, but don't tell us that. Say, you know I'll be bleeding out at that point and I know I can't come, whatever it is. But make sure it seems important, all right? And make sure you think about your audience. One of the first things I teach in English 101 is the idea of audience. Know your audience. I am not your buddy. I am not your best friend. I'm not your age group. So don't write to me as if I am. Be respectful even if you hate me that day. Make sure that you always check your Maricopa email. We are really, really tough about this one. If you want to, you can set it up so that your Maricopa email will be sent to your favorite email, okay, or even your phone. Okay, I act like phone is some new thing that we've just invented, but the phone will actually get your email, or what do you call it? Again, text messages. I keep forgetting. Please make sure whatever you do, you check those messages. That is how Lanae, especially, will communicate with you. And you are responsible for the information in those emails. If she writes to you and says, I need your reply, and we never get a reply, you might lose a scholarship again. Something might happen, and if you come to us then 2 months later, hey, why didn't I get my money? You know, kind of like that email. We'd go, 'cause you never replied to the email. So you need to check those emails. It's incredibly important. We have had students have this problem.
All right. So raise your hand if you're taking classes on the Southern Dobson campus. Okay. Anybody taking classes out at the Red Mountain campus? Okay. Both? Anybody taking classes at both? Okay. Make sure you check your schedule. We've had students that will show up on, and they're in a class at Southern Dobson, and their next class, they can't find it because it's in a building over at the Red Mountain campus, which is like, 30 minutes away. So make sure that you check the map ahead of time, know where your classes are. And I'm going to show you a map here. This is the Mesa campus, the Southern Dobson campus that you're on. And most of you probably parked, actually I have no idea where you parked for today or where Lanae advised you, but this is where the covered parking is by the freeway. It really doesn't matter where you park or how you get into campus, because right in the middle, highlighted there, is the Kirk Student Center and the big clock tower in the center of campus. It's a great way to orient yourself. And from there, nothing is too far away. It feels like a really big campus, but you'll get to know it quickly. And we have the honors office is right here in the Kirk Student Center in the center of campus. So this is the clock tower, and in this building right next to it, this is where the cafe is. It's where student government has an office. It's right across the hall from honors is student life, where all the clubs and activities and stuff. And there's restrooms in there that are ice cold. Like literally, it's an ice box. So when it's like 900 degrees outside like today and you need to cool off, I hear that's a great place to cool off quickly. Yes. So we in that honors office, we have some student space. We have, if you haven't been in there yet, you'll have the chance afterwards. If you want to follow Lanae over there, you can see the honors office, and there's couches and places to charge your devices, and there's a little computer room with several computers, and you can use them and you can print for free, and we won't charge you like they will if you want to go use the computers in the library. So if you ran out of ink, like Mary said, you have a backup plan. There's a little study room that you could reserve or use if you are meeting with some other students or just need a quiet place to work on something. And then while Mary and I both have our own offices in our own buildings, I'm actually here in the social science building, and Mary's up here, right? LA, she's right here in this building. There is an office that we both will spend some time at as well, in the honors office, if you need to talk to one of us. So if you're taking classes at the Red Mountain campus, or you want to go over to the honors office over there in the bottom floor of the Desert Willow building, there is some space where the same kind of thing. You'll find honors and PTK and same kind of place that you'll find some seating and some places to charge your devices and some work areas and computers and stuff. So take advantage of those student spaces. They're there for you, and that's where you can find us as well. There's also tutoring centers in different buildings on campus. So I would say the main intake for if you're interested in tutoring, you can go to the Learning Enhancement Center, which is in the bottom floor of the library here. But also ask in the departments that you're in. If you need tutoring for psychology, ask, because they have designated spaces where they also have tutors that can work with you in specific disciplines. Don't feel like, I know some of you were probably honor students when you were in high school. And you might not feel like tutoring is for you. You've never needed that kind of thing before. But I promise you, you're going to end up in a class that's going to throw you for a loop. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. Don't feel like because I'm an honor student, I shouldn't need tutoring and you're too intimidated. That's what those resources are there for. I also know there's some of you that have never been honor students before. You were a 3.25 student. You weren't, an honors, you didn't take honors classes, but now you're here and you've qualified for this honors scholarship, and we're making you take honors classes, and we're telling you you're an honors student, and you're maybe feeling a little bit intimidated because you've never been in that role before. Don't worry, don't panic. That's what we're here for. Our job is to help kind of groom you and cultivate you as honor students so that when you leave here, you can walk on to wherever you're transferring to, ASU, U of A, NAU, as an honor student. They happily take our honor students. They have programs for, they actually want to recruit you into their honors programs. And the research shows that the honor students that come from here and transfer to the other institutions, they do just as well, if not better, we hear from the honors programs, than the honor students that actually started there. So, but you have to be willing to, kind of work with us, work with your faculty members, be willing to perform to the kind of that bar that they set. Okay, so reach out and use these resources. There's also tutoring places that are available on the Red Mountain campus as well. So here's how you keep your scholarship. You have been awarded the scholarship. It does last for 4 semesters, but to keep it, you have to actually continue to meet the eligibility requirements while you're here at Mesa. So at the end of every semester, Lanae and her team, they literally will comb through for every single one of you, and they have to go and check your records to make sure you're still eligible to continue on the scholarship. And that means the first thing they're going to check for is to see that you finished an honors class with a grade of C or better. This one is what I call a non-negotiable. If this doesn't happen, you can't get the you lose the scholarship and there's no getting it back. So if you were to be dropped from that honors class because you had to go see whatever movie and that was like your 4th absence and that violates the policy of that professor and they withdraw you, we don't have the authority to go in and say, please put them back in your class, please give them another chance. It's done. So make sure that you take that class seriously and that you get a C or better in your honors class. Okay. Now, if early on you're worried that there's a problem or you're not sure if you're going to be able to get a C in that honors class, there are options you have if you reach out to Lanae or one of us early on, because maybe there's a chance you could get into another honors class. Maybe you could take a second honors class so that you could still finish an honors class with a C or better. But you can't wait too long to ask for help or those options aren't available anymore. Another one is you have to complete 12 credits per semester. How many credits do you need to get an associate's degree? About 60, which means that's in 4 semesters, that would be 15 credits each semester. And so, and it's called being a full-time student because, as you heard from Mary, it's 45 hours. It's, dedicated to school time. So I recommend, if you're going to get the maximum value of that scholarship, to enroll in 15 credits each semester. Some of you have dual enrollment from high school, and so you don't need 15 each semester. You can take a little bit lighter load. Some of you may start out with 15, and with your work schedule, you realize this is too much. And so you can afford to drop a class and still have 12 and finish with the 12 so that you can keep your scholarship. Okay? You also have to complete 2 co-curricular activities each semester. These are those things that engage you outside of your regular classroom experience. So you're not just getting out of your car, going to class, and getting back in your car, and that was it. So I will give you examples of what those are, but you have to do 2 of them. And they're things you can do on your own time at lots of different scheduled events. Most of them are free, and so there's really no reason not to do that. Every semester we have a couple students that lose the scholarship just because they didn't do that. And when it could be something as simple as going to the free art museum with your mom or something, like why, or by yourself, why not? Don't let that be the reason you lose your scholarship. You have to maintain a district-wide GPA of 3.25. So some of you might take classes here, but then you might also be taking a class at Chandler Gilbert or at Scottsdale Community College. That class factors into your district-wide GPA. So too does any credits that you've already earned from dual enrollments. So raise your hand if you've taken some dual enrollment credit with the Maricopa Community College system. Those are already factoring into your GPA. And so that counts. Now this creates problems. I wish that they would let students know, you probably weren't even thinking about the honors scholarship when you were enrolling in some of those classes. But we'll have students that will come in and maybe they took dual enrollment Spanish and then they got C's in that class. Well, C, that's 2.0. And so they're coming in with 8 credits of C's, that's a 2.0, and by the end of their first semester, we're going to be checking to see if they have a 3.25. Sometimes it's not even mathematically possible to get it up there. And so if you're worried that that might be you, come see us right away so that we can come up with a plan to help make sure that you can be successful and get that GPA up to 3.25. Sometimes it means retaking a class that you did for dual enrollment so that you can replace that grade and get a higher GPA. Sometimes it might mean instead of taking 12, you need 15. So you have more, A's in there pulling up your GPA. But we can't work with it. We can't help you come up with that plan if you don't come talk to us. The other thing that we can do is we offer probation for 1 semester. So at the end of the first semester, if your GPA isn't quite 3.25, maybe if it's between 3 and 3.25, so somewhere in there, but it's not the 3.25, we can offer you probation for for that second semester to keep you on the scholarship, which means but we don't just automatically give it out. You have to come talk to us. We have to make sure that it's mathematically possible for you to get it up to a 3.25. And then you'll meet with Mary or I, and we'll come up with a probation contract and a plan to help you come up, with the steps that you'll need to take that next semester so you can be successful and keep the scholarship. But it's not automatic, and if you don't respond to the emails that Lanae sends that say, hey, you're going to lose your scholarship, but if you want to come in and talk about probation, if you don't respond, we can't help you. So that's an opportunity. That probation is also how we help some of the dual enrollment students, give them a little bit longer to bring that GPA up. So any questions about this? Okay. So those are the requirements to keep the scholarship, and we will be looking at those after every semester. And as long as you meet those requirements, you get to continue on for the next semester. Now, the one requirement that you have to complete one honors course every semester. There are two different types of honors courses. So Lanae mentioned honors only classes. That's what you're all enrolled in this semester, and it's the same kind of class you have to enroll in next semester. Honors only means the course is closed to students that aren't honors students. So the only people that can sign up for the class are students that are participating in the honors program. And so their enrollment is capped lower. So there's 20, maybe 22 students in one of those classes. And every one of those classes has reading, or research, writing, and a presentation component to the class. By the time you start your second year, your third and fourth semester, you can still take these honors-only classes. In fact, I encourage you to do that. However, it might work out that the classes that we offer as honors classes, as you're getting farther in your degree, you might need more specialized classes, and we might not have a class that you need that is an honors-only class. So you have the option to do what's called an honors contract. That means that you can go to any one of your faculty members and you can ask them to do an honors contract with you and turn that class into your honors class. It means you will go above and beyond the regular coursework to also do an honors research project in that class. In the same way, those projects have to involve research, writing, and some sort of presentation. But it's going to be different. Every faculty member has different types of projects that they do. And they don't have to do an honors contract with you. So that's also a little bit of a risk, is that you might have a bunch of most of the faculty are pretty good. But we have had scenarios where a student needs an honors class and they didn't take an honors only class, and then they're waiting until the last minute and they're having a hard time finding a faculty that will work with them. That is the exception to the rule, but there is that risk. So the honors contracts do require some more paperwork. So this is a sample of a contract. They're not that long, but the project, some professors will have a ready-made project. Here's the project I have my honors students do. Others will say, what would you like to do? And we'll have you propose the research topic. And so you and the professor will fill out the description of your project. You'll turn it in. It has to be approved by Mary or I. We'll sign off on it, and then that becomes your contract with that professor. At the end of the semester, you have to do another piece of paper, an honors contract verification form, where your professor signs it saying they finished their honors contract. Then you turn that into us. Then we know you did your honors, met your honors requirement. So if you want to avoid that paperwork, you can just take honors-only classes. There's always a lot to choose from every semester, but that is an option you have during your second semester. When you're searching for honors classes, if this might look a little bit familiar, in the district course search, you can select there's a little box you can check on and off to say, show me honors classes. That would be one way to find honors classes. If you go to the honors website to search for honors classes, we have on our menu, there is not the one that's circled, but there's another one up there towards the top that says honors classes, and you can see them on the honors website. And we also have honors class descriptions that are provided by the faculty members that teach the classes. So it's not just what you read in the course catalog. You can actually read about their course and in their voice, and they tell you a little bit, much more interesting. You get an idea of what to expect. So when you're searching and shopping for honors classes, check out the honors website. Contracts are available in print form in the honors office, and you can also find them in this applications and forms section of the honors website as well. Any questions about contracts? So you can't, remember, you won't have to worry about this until your second year that you're here. First year, you're just taking honors only classes. All right. The other requirement was that you do 2 co-curricular activities, and these things are outside of your normal coursework. So they have to be pre-approved. We have a rolling list on the honors website of pre-approved co-curricular activities, and it's constantly being updated with different events around campus and the community that would count as co-curricular activities. The 2 that you do have to be each semester have to be from 2 different categories. So these are the categories that co-curricular activities fall in. They can be cultural arts, academic lecture, academic involvement, volunteering, campus involvement. And so let's say that you did a cultural arts. You went to a choir concert, and that was your first co-curricular activity. And then for the second one, you want to do, go visit the art gallery. Those are both cultural arts. So you have to pick a different, maybe instead you do a volunteer activity and you go volunteer at the Red Mountain campus does a, what's their Halloween event? Halloween extravaganza, and you want to volunteer at that event. That could be your second one because it's from a different category. Then the next semester starts and the slate is wiped clean. And then if you want to go to the art gallery, you can go to the art gallery because it's a new semester, so you could do cultural arts again. You can't repeat an activity, so I'm just going to give you some examples of what falls in these different categories. So our psychology department offers evening lecture series. Those are always approved, pre-approved co-curricular activities. The ASU Race and Democracy, they have lecture series every semester. We automatically approve any of those. There's lots of other academic lectures on that happen on campus. And what we hear from students, a lot of times they go to it because it fits a time that's convenient, and then we read the reflections they write on it, and over again we hear things like, that was so cool, that was so interesting, I think I actually want to take that class, or a class from that professor, I want to learn more about this. That's kind of the idea. This is a time for you to explore, and getting you engaged outside of your normal classes will will give you new ideas of other things that you might be interested in as well. You can get involved academically. So maybe you want to join the Psychology Honor Society. Your involvement and participation in that would count as a co-curricular activity. Maybe you want to participate in the book club. Go to the first meeting, they give you the book, and then you attend and you talk about the book. That would be an example of academic involvement. Campus involvement, there's lots of ways to participate this way. You can be involved with student government, and your involvement for that semester would count as a co-curricular activity. PTK, your involvement with that could also count as a co-curricular. Any student club, you're just going to track and show us active participation. You can't go to one math club meeting and say, I went to a math club meeting, math club, that's my campus involvement. You would have to be an active member in the club. The planetarium hosts astronomy nights it's like the first Friday of the month, I think, of every month. And you can go watch like Pink Floyd and look at the stars at this play that's put on, and they have several different ones that they do rotate throughout the semester. But those are all examples of campus involvement. You could even attend an MCC sporting event. So you could go watch girls soccer and cheer on your Thunderbirds. So you can't do that. So you can't repeat an event, a specific event. So if you go and watch girls soccer this semester, you can't watch another girls soccer event next semester. You could go do another sporting event, but you just can't repeat that same exact activity. You can't say, I'm gonna do PTK and I'm gonna do PTK every single semester. Now, luckily, PTK has so many different activities that fit co-curriculars that if you're involved in PTK, the problem becomes, how do I choose what to use for my co-curriculars because I've done so many great things. So, but we just don't want you repeating. We want you to engage, and over the 4 semesters that you're here, hopefully you've got involved and tried lots of different things. There's cultural arts is probably the most popular category because there are so many different opportunities in this one. I mentioned we have an art gallery on campus, but you could go to the Phoenix Art Museum. Your student ID will get you in there for free. If you don't have a student ID yet, go to the enrollment center and say, I need a student ID, and they'll point you to where you go. They'll take your picture and give you a student ID. And then you'll know your student ID number, which I noticed many of you didn't know when you were signing in. Any of the MCC concerts or plays, or we actually use some of our honors budget to buy tickets and then give them out for free to honors students with a sign up. So for those of you that are checking your Canvas or your email regularly, as soon as we announce that those are available, it's like the little Kahoot we just played. Like pop, like people are signing up for them really quick. So if you're watching those emails, you can sign up and get free tickets to our plays. We do the same thing with the Phoenix Symphony. We have free tickets to the Phoenix Symphony for students. And we don't give you one ticket, we give you two. So you can take a date or a friend or a parent, because they might miss you now that you're in college. All right, any questions about any of these? We also have a category called volunteering. 4 hours of volunteering can be a co-curricular activity. So, for example, I know PTK will host some events at Feed My Starving Children, where you can go over and work at Feed My Starving Children. But their shifts are only 2 hours. And so for it to count as co-curricular, you might have to go back and do another one of those shifts, so that you have 4 hours. Or maybe you combine those 2 hours with 2 hours of volunteering over at the Halloween extravaganza. For those two, you can mix and match, but you put those 4 hours together to make a co-curricular volunteering. The catch with this is that the volunteering has to be with an approved Maricopa Community College District community partner. And so you may do great volunteer work with your little brother's school or with a church or something, but for liability and insurance reasons, it's important that all the paperwork is done and the agreements have been made. And that's why if you choose one of the things that's on our pre-approved list as a volunteer activity, then we know that those conditions have been met. So there's lots of volunteer opportunities with different clubs and events and things that happen on campus that you can choose to use for. And if you want to just browse and find out what's available, search MCC Serves on the Mesa website, and it'll take you to a page where you can see all the volunteer opportunities coming up at Mesa. Things that's just generally we are not counted as co-curriculars. And this is across the district. So we have an honors program here at Mesa, and they have the same kind of an honors program at Chandler Gilbert and at Scottsdale and Phoenix College. And we all meet as a district honors council and agree on the parameters for the scholarship and the requirements, including things like co-curricular activities. And so as a council, across the board, we've decided that things like elementary, middle school, high school level performances, even though it might be a great play, they aren't going to count as co-curricular activities. It needs to be college or professional level. So if your little brother's tuba concert is coming up and you're going to it, good. You should go to that because he's your little brother, but it's not going to count as a co-curricular activity. Church events and activities, and festivals, expos, fairs, generally not approved. These are kind of things where you go and there's, music and booths and chips and, and lots of people. And maybe there are some great cultural experiences there, but we don't have a good way to measure, attendance or what you engaged in or what kind, So just across the board, those kind of things are not co-curricular activities. And then again, repeating a previously submitted activity in a semester. But if you do have something that you think fits and it's not on our pre-approved list and you really would like to do it, you could ask Mary or I. There are literally over 100 or more things that you could choose from. There's a lot of things that are just auto-approved, like any local museums, those kind of things you can find them on our list of just pre-approved. So I always point students, just go check out the list. There's so many things to choose from rather than trying to come up with meeting the requirements to make it fit. So how do we know that you did it? You're going to submit a reflection in Canvas. It has to be 250 words. We have a word counter in there, so if it says 249, it will get kicked back to you, and you will have to resubmit. So you can find free word counters too. Make sure it is 250 words and that it's substantial enough that we can tell that you were there. That, along with some form of proof of attendance. So we prefer it in the selfie version. So like if you're at an academic lecture, you can be like, hey, here's a picture of me at the lecture. You can see the speaker back there. That shows us you were at the event. That combined with your well-written reflection, where you were telling us about the experience, it should be obvious to us that you've attended the event. Believe me, we've read some where we're like, I don't think they actually went to that. And you'll be asked to resubmit, or you just won't meet that requirement, and then you lose your scholarship, and that would be tragic. So it can't be part of a class requirement or extra credit. So the Halloween extravaganza event I was telling you about, Blake, the other honors director over at Red Mountain, he offers that as an extra credit assignment, I think, for his communications students. They can set up a booth and run the booth at the event that they do for the community. If a student is doing that for extra credit for his class, it can't be used as a co-curricular activity. So you have to pick and choose. Even if it was for regular credit for the class, not extra credit, same thing. You can't double dip. These are things that are supposed to be outside of your regular coursework or that you would be exposed to through your regular classes. Okay, so pick and choose. So the 2 that you do, you can do them, throughout the semester, and you should turn your reflection in within 2 weeks of attending the event, but no later than October 4th for your first one or November 18th for your second one. We need time to grade them all. Between Blake and Mary and myself, we read hundreds of co-curricular reflections. And so we go through all of them, and we will give you feedback on each one. And you will know that your requirement has been met when the score says 5 out of 5. So the computer will automatically score it when you submit it, but it doesn't know, whether you did it or if it was good. And so you're going to, right away when you submit it, you're going to see something like 2 out of 5 or 1 out of 5. Don't worry, it just means it hasn't been graded by one of us. Once we've graded it, we will give you feedback. You'll see comments attached to the co-curricular, and you'll see a grade that's different. Hopefully 5 out of 5. If it's 5 out of 5, that means you met all of the requirements. If it's 4 out of 5, it means you're missing something. If it's 3 out of 5, you're missing something. Go read the comments and fix whatever it is that's needed and resubmit so that you can get credit for the co-curricular activity. Okay? Any questions about co-curricular activities? Okay, where will you submit those? In Canvas. It looks like a quiz when you submit it, but you can open it up and take a look ahead of time. It just has you answer some questions like, was it on or off campus? What was the name of the event? What was the date? And what was the category? And then there's a place where you can put your reflection in there. Copy and paste it from the Word document where you did spell check. All right, I'm going to let Mary tell you about some more opportunities for honor students.
So we have some amazing study abroad programs here at Mesa. There are some at some of the other colleges, but ours are better. I do direct 2 of ours. I direct one program that goes to England, Scotland, and France. You spend a month over there visiting Paris and other places. And then I also direct a 3-week program to the French Riviera. You do not need to speak French for either of those programs. We also have programs to Ireland, Japan, Puerto Penasco. So those are just some of the places you could visit, and Honors very kindly provides some scholarships to help you pay that program fee. If you are at all interested in study abroad programs, come see me or Yvonne Schmidt over in the International Ed office or attend one of the info sessions. There are all kinds of ways to get funding to pay for a study abroad. So if you at this moment think there's no way I can afford that, go to one of the information sessions because you would be surprised. There are lots of ways to get funding for study abroad. And those are incredible experiences. They change your life. The Western Regional Honors Conference, which this year is held at Southern Utah University from March 27th to 29th, 2020. I think our colleague, Blake Wolf, will be driving a van full of, just crammed full of students, I don't know, full of students to it. What you do is you use one of the projects that you've completed for your honors only class. So you might have a really good paper you wrote or some other kind of project. You talk to your instructor, talk to us, and submit that for our consideration, and we will choose some students to send to this particular conference. You can then meet other honors students from universities in the western region of the United States. You can get some experience talking in front of a group of blank faces like this one, or you can, you'll start to learn, and engage in education, which can be incredibly important, especially for those of you who want to go on to graduate school, because graduate school, they expect you to give papers at conferences and various things where you have to stand in front of people and talk to them holding a microphone, maybe, I don't know. But that's an incredible experience as well, and that happens every year, so hopefully it'll be in Anaheim or someplace that I find more interesting, and then I'll go with you that year, as long as we're near a theme park. Okay.
All right. You can also graduate from the honors program. This is optional. It's not required. We probably had 50 students or so this last year graduate from the honors program. But if you want to take your honors experience while you're with us to the next level, this is what the requirements you would have to meet to graduate from the honors program. You would need 15 credits of honors classes. If you're here for 4 semesters and you take 1 3-credit honors class each semester, that's 12, which means one of those semesters you would have to take 2 classes, or maybe after 4 semesters you're not quite ready to transfer and you're going to be here another semester, you could take an honors class then. You need to have not just a 3.25, but a 3.5 district-wide GPA to graduate from the honors program. You have to do your required co-curricular activities each semester, and then you have to submit an application. You have to let us know you want to graduate from the honors program. We can't read your mind or don't know to check to see if you're eligible unless you say, hey, I want to graduate from the honors program. So that application is available on our website or in the honors office, and it's about the same time that you're applying to the college to graduate. You have to do that as well. You have to say, hey, I want to graduate, and you apply to graduate. You would do the same thing with the honors office. Then we have a medallion that you get to wear at graduation, and it's actually on your transcript. It will say that you graduated from the honors program. This is in addition to just graduating with honors, with distinction. So anybody, whether they were in the honors program or not, if they have a 3.5 or higher GPA, it'll say graduated, with distinction or highest distinction. On top of that, you can graduate from the honors program if you meet these requirements, okay? That honors scholarship acceptance quiz is 5 points, and you have to get 5 out of 5 to get credit. So if you score less than 5 out of 5, retake it, keep retaking it until you get 5 out of 5.